one time, there was a greedy lady called Cinderella. Cinderella hated to do chores and work, so she decided that it would be more fun to make other people's lives miserable. One night, she decides to steal a child at a nearby house.
Cinderella, come wash my dirty clothes, please.
Sure. Let me just get the detergent from the store in the corner. Cinderella bolted out the door and ran down a dark alley which led to her destination, the house with the baby. She carefully creaked open the dusty door and tiptoed upstairs without a sound. She kept on going, and she entered a small room. There he is, she breathed, just when she was going to grab the baby. Then, poof, a strange little man appeared in the room. His hair was dark and frizzy, but his eyes glowed in the light. His face was very familiar. He was the prince. Despite all of his good looks, he made a mad attempt to steal the child before Cinderella could get it. "Hand over the child!" exclaimed Cinderella while she slowly slipped off her shoes. Cinderella was getting ready to run when she glanced into the prince's eyes. It was love at first sight for both of them. 3 weeks later, there was a massive wedding to celebrate the marriage of the new prince and princess. A year later, Cinderella was living in luxury. Being Cinderella, she was extremely greedy and spoiled. Rumpelstiltskin was tired of all of her demands, so he made up a plan. "Get me a low-fat latte. I'm on a diet, remember?" demanded Cinderella. Rumpelstiltskin thought that he needed to have a lady in waiting, so he thought it would be an exciting idea to make Cinderella her servant. Cinderella was forced to polish his shoes, do his laundry, and much more. Rumpelstiltskin was sick of calling Cinderella, his new servant, Cinderella. So he gave her a nickname, Cindy. Cindy,
I have an extremely important job for you. Come with me.
The prince led Cindy into a room full of straw with a spinning wheel in the corner.
You must spin the straw into gold by tomorrow. Your life depends on it.
Cinderella spent most of the night sobbing until her fairy godmother appeared in front of her. Poof.
Oh dear child, you are a wreck.
I am forced to spin the straw into gold by the morning or I will die.
Oh dear child, this is unheard of. I must help you. Let me spin the straw into gold.
Then with a raise of her wand, blazing lights shone above Cinderella. Cinderella closed her eyes, and when she opened them, she was surrounded by golden bricks.
I must go, child. I'm on a tight schedule. If you need my help again, just say Mamma Mia.
Poof! The fairy godmother disappeared into thin air. The second day, Cindy is led by the prince to a bigger room of straw. Again, her life depended on this. But instead of trying to spin the straw into gold, she decided to protest or go on strike. No straw spinning! No straw spinning!
What is that noise?
Rumpelstiltskin didn't enjoy this noise, so he ran down to the straw spinning room. It turns out it was Cindy yelling and screeching in complaint. Rumpelstiltskin was not happy when he saw this.
Enough! Stop immediately or I'll steal our first child and sell it as a slave.
And with that, Rumpelstiltskin stomped out of the room and slammed the door behind him. Cinderella spent the next 2 weeks pregnant while protesting against spinning the straw into gold. Later, she decided that for the sake of her child, she should try to spin the straw into gold. But she was not able to spin the straw into gold. Cindy spent the next 2 whole days weeping from the labor that she was in. Suddenly, she remembered the secret word her fairy godmother gave her, Mamma Mia. She whispered it, but nobody showed up, so then she yelled it at the top of her lungs, Mamma Mia! What do you know? The godmother was here at Cinderella's side.
What now, child? You are quite plump. Have you eaten all the straw?
No, I'm pregnant and in pain, and my husband is about to sell my child as a slave. Please help me.
You can't sell a person as a slave.
Oh, child, I got just the right thing to help you. Here, take the slipper. It is a magic transporter, and all you have to do is make a wish, and you'll end up in that place.
The excitement in Cinderella's eyes was incredible. She knew that soon she was about to be free from this dungeon. That night, when there was absolutely no sound in the castle, Cinderella used her magical slipper to transport her to her house. 3 days later, Cinderella was resting at her house with a brand new child laying on her. This experience led her to appreciate her friends and family, and later on, her daughter Elizabeth grew up to be a gorgeous young lady with lots of wealth. Cinderella was known as one of the bravest women in the world, and she lived happily ever after with a wonderful family. Rumpelstiltskin, on the other hand, ended up being a poor beggar on the streets with no family and friends.